The 2022 CPBL season gets underway in Taiwan on Saturday, April 2nd. This will be the 33rd season of the CPBL, which first played in 1990. 5 teams will take part, same as last year. If you didn't follow along during the off-season, the big news was that a 6th team, the TSG Hawks, will join the minor league for the 2023 season, then join the big league in 2024. So 2 years from now we'll have 6 teams, but for now it's just 5. There are some big changes this year, though. One of them is the postseason format. If there are 2 different champions for the first half and the second half, there will be a mandatory playoff series. The half-season winner with the higher win percentage will automatically go to the Taiwan series. The other half-season winner will go up against the winningest team that did not win either half-season. If one team wins both halves, the same rules apply as before. That team goes straight to the Taiwan series. The overall second and third place teams have a playoff, with the winner going to the Taiwan series. So there will always be 3 teams in the postseason under the new format. Also new for this season is the 20-second pitch clock. CPBL games average 3.5 hours in the 2021 season, and the pitch clock is one way they hope to speed up the game. It'll be installed behind home plate and will start counting down once the catcher throws the ball back to the pitcher. From that moment, the batter has 10 seconds to enter the box. If he doesn't, he'll be given a warning the first time and given a strike the second time. And from the time the catcher throws the ball back, the pitcher has 20 seconds to throw a pitch. If he fails to do so, he'll be warned the first time, the second time it'll be a ball. This rule only applies when the bases are empty. The CPBL is usually the first league in East Asia to start its regular season, starting in early or mid-March. However, they needed some extra off-season time after last year's Taiwan series didn't end until December 1st. There was a 2-month COVID shutdown from May to July, so from start to finish, the 2021 season spanned over 8 months. Here's a look at last year's first half standings, topped by the CTBC Brothers, followed by the Lions, Monkeys, Guardians, and Dragons. Second half was won narrowly by the Uni Lions, followed by the Brothers, Dragons, Guardians, and Monkeys. In the Taiwan series, the Brothers rolled 4-0 for their first league title since 2010. And that's the team we'll start with. The defending Taiwan Series champions go into this season as the favorites to repeat. They bring back all the major pieces from their championship team and even added a few more. The biggest piece of all is 2-time reigning MVP Jose de Paula. The 34-year-old left-handed Dominican turned in another great season last year. 25 starts, 178 innings, 16 wins, 4 losses, and a 1.77 ERA. Of course, at de Paula's age, he's got to slow down sometime. To address this possibility, the brothers signed 28-year-old right-hander Teddy Stankiewicz during the offseason. Stankiewicz was one of the Lions' top pitchers in the second half of 2020 and the first half of 2021. He left the team at midseason to join Team Mexico at the Olympics and pitched in the LMB for the rest of the summer. In the first half of 2021, he made 8 starts, 53 1/3 innings with a 1.18 ERA and a 0.694 WHIP. If de Paula and Stankiewicz put up anything close to their 2021 numbers, they will make for an absolutely dominant 1-2 punch in the rotation. Other starters coming back, there's 12-game winner Kai Wen Chang, a 33-year-old right-hander, and 26-year-old left-hander Yen Ching Lu, a rookie last year. Sean Moramondo joined the team at the end of the 2021 season, made 2 starts and 2 relief appearances. ERA doesn't look good because of 1 really bad start. He'll be back for the whole season this time. Another starting pitcher who joined the team at the same time as Moramondo was Jose Valdez. He was really effective in the Taiwan series, but unfortunately for the brothers, he signed with another team during the offseason. Their closer is 35-year-old right-hander C.C. Lee. He made 53 appearances, ERA 2.42, and recorded 24 saves. 23-year-old Chung Wei Wu led the league with 27 holds, 3.20 ERA, and 55 games. Top hitters include 30-year-old infielder Wei Chen Wang, a 3.23 batter with 21 steals. 26-year-old outfielder Tzu Hao Chen, a left-handed batter. He had a 3.88 on-base percentage with 14 home runs. And 29-year-old infielder Chi Hung Shu, 3.68 on base with double-digit homers and steals. And new to the team is a foreign position player, 32-year-old Dominican Francisco Peña, a catcher and first baseman. Last year, Peña played in AAA where he hit 23 home runs in 105 games. From 2014 to 2018, he played sparingly with 3 different teams at the major league level. This is pretty much the exact same team that won the Taiwan series. They lost a good pitcher but signed an even better one, and have a new position player. The brothers are sure to find their way back to the postseason this year. The Uni Lions were second-half champions in 2021 and had the second-best overall record, just as they had been in 2020. But unlike the previous year, the Lions couldn't get the job done in the Taiwan series, and their bid for a repeat came up short. For the season, the Lions had a league-best 3.27 team ERA, led by their ace Brock DeShorn. The 27-year-old right-hander was the CPBL's winningest pitcher with 17 wins and only 4 losses, had the second-best ERA at 1.83, and was second in strikeouts with 157. With numbers very close to those of DePaula, he has the potential to be a league MVP. Another starting pitcher that has great potential is 21-year-old right-hander Wei Yang Gulin. In his rookie season, he was 8-6 in 20 starts with a 3.15 ERA. 32-year-old right-hander Tim Melville will not be back this year. He had an ERA under 4 in over 20 starts, but was not re-signed. In the bullpen, they've got the league leader in saves, 26-year-old right-hander Yoon Wen Chen. He appeared in over 50 games with a 1.53 ERA. 26-year-old right-hander Chun Jen Chang was an effective setup man, with 22 holds and 57 appearances. And while they don't get Stankiewicz or Melville back, they've signed 2 new foreign pitchers to make up for the loss. 28-year-old right-hander Keuri Meya has played at the major league level but has spent most of the last 5 years in AAA. 36-year-old right-hander Logan Ondruzak also played at the major league level and in NPB, though it was quite a few years ago. Recently he played in AAA, the LMB, and Lidong. And they've got plenty of good hitters. 28-year-old outfielder Chie Hsien Chen was second in the CPBL in batting with an average of .325, on-base percentage .399, and 22 steals. 21-year-old infielder Ching Kai Lin in his sophomore season batted over .300 with 23 steals. 27-year-old outfielder Chi Chie Su stole 15 and was a decent hitter, though his numbers were down from the previous years. Notice all the base stealing. The Lions were the top team in steals. 24-year-old outfielder Ang Koo Lin had an on-base percentage just under .400, second in the league with 16 home runs, and stole 17 bases. But just last week it was announced that he'll have surgery on his right wrist and will be out for at least 3 months. And they've added a foreign position player, 33-year-old infielder Willen Rosario. He played in MLB, NPB, and KBO in past years. With one of their best hitters out for the entire first half of the season, they'll need all the other young hitters to make up the difference. As for pitching, they'll be hoping the new foreign pitchers can step up and make up for the loss of the departing ones. It could happen, but it's a lot to ask. The Rakuten Monkeys finished with the 3rd best overall record for the 2nd straight year. However, they also finished last in the second half for the 2nd year in a row, and that has come after winning 3 straight Taiwan Series titles from 2017 to 2019. The Monkeys had the best offensive team in the CPBL last year, leading the league in scoring, team batting, and home runs. 33-year-old first baseman Chun Xiu Chen was the batting and on-base champion, hitting .352 for the year with an on-base percentage of .425. 35-year-old infielder Yu Xianchu hit 22 home runs, 81 RBI, and slugged .530, leading the league in all 3 categories. 26-year-old infielder Li Lin had a .341 on-base percentage and led the league with 27 steals. A team with hitters that good but didn't make the playoffs, you're right to assume that their pitching was awful. Team ERA was .415 for the year, easily the worst. But they had some good starters. 27-year-old right-hander Tzu Peng Huang had the league's 5th best ERA at .340 in 22 starts. 31-year-old lefty Ryan Bollinger had an ERA of .280 in 19 starts. 30-year-old right-hander Dylan Covey, 10 starts, ERA .401. And they've brought in another foreign pitcher who's had a lot of success in the CPBL. 36-year-old Henry Sosa, one of the league's best pitchers in 2019 and 2020 with the Fubon Guardians. He suffered a season-ending ACL injury just 2 games into the 2021 season. How will he do at his age after missing almost an entire season? Who knows? If he can get back to where he was a couple years ago, or at least close to it, he'll be a great addition to a pitching staff that could use some help. 32-year-old right-hander Braden Hagens comes back this year after making over 50 appearances last year with a sub-3 ERA. Their closer was 32-year-old right-hander Yu Shun Chen, over 50 games, ERA .247. 33-year-old lefty Hung Cheng Lai was second in the league with 26 holds, but had an ERA of almost 5. So the hitting shouldn't be a problem. As for pitching, the arrival of Sosa could be huge, if he can throw like he used to. But they'll also need to see some improvement from their other pitchers. Their pitching was the worst last year, and one new addition isn't going to fix that. The Fubon Guardians finished 4th in the first half, second half, and the overall standings. They have not won the Taiwan Series nor even reached the postseason since 2016, and never under their present name. They were an average pitching team, would have been much better if Sosa had been healthy. 37-year-old right-hander Mike Laurie had the league's 4th best ERA at .303 in 25 starts. He'll be back for his 11th CPBL season this year, more than any other foreign player. But that was the only bright spot in the rotation. 36-year-old right-hander Hung Wen Chen started 11 games, but did better out of the bullpen, where he made 30 appearances. Overall, 41 games, .315 ERA. Good closer, 20-year-old right-hander Jun Yu Tseng, 57 appearances, a .180 ERA, and a .0.95 WHIP. Just didn't get many save opportunities, so he had only 12. They signed 3 new foreign pitchers during the offseason. Jose Valdez, as I already mentioned, was a late arrival for the brothers, pitched a few games at the end of the season, and tossed 8 scoreless innings in the deciding Game 4 of the Taiwan series. He'll get his first full CPBL season this year with the Guardians. 33-year-old right-hander Joe Van Meter has pitched in a number of leagues around the world, most recently in the LMB last summer and Lidom last winter, putting up good numbers in both leagues. 25-year-old Colombian right-hander Luis Escobar played briefly for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2019 and was one of the LMB's top pitchers last summer. They were 4th out of the 5 teams in runs scored, last in stolen bases, but average in most hitting categories. 36-year-old infielder Yichuan Lin batted .286 with 11 home runs. He has over 1,800 hits and 200 home runs in his 13-year career. 36-year-old outfielder Kuo Hui Kao led the team with 12 home runs. That was in just 79 games. As you can see, they didn't have any dominant hitters, and their best ones are getting up there in age, so they brought in a foreign position player, and a good one too. In 2019, Xavier Batista hit 26 home runs for the Hiroshima Carp. Probably would still be playing in NPB today, or in MLB, if not for a positive PED test. Last summer he played in the LMB where he hit 19 home runs in 66 games. Batista will certainly provide a boost for the hitting. The new batch of foreign pitchers could make a difference too, and they're playing under a new manager. This doesn't quite look like a championship team, but maybe the new boss will figure out how to get the best out of his players. The Weichuan Dragons returned to the big league of CPBL after a 21-year absence. They finished with the worst overall record, as an expansion team is expected to do, but they got stronger as the season went on and finished 3rd in the second-half standings. Team ERA was .393, ranking 4th, and not too far behind the top 3 teams. 35-year-old right-hander Brian Woodall made 20 starts and appeared 14 times in relief, had the league's 3rd best ERA at .290, and tied for 3rd in wins with 12. 31-year-old right-hander Drew Gagnon made 14 starts and 4 relief appearances with an ERA of .393, spent some time on the injured list, and finished really strong with an ERA of .265 over his final 9 starts. His season ended a month early when he had to head home for family reasons. 33-year-old right-hander Jake Brigham played the first 2 months of last season with the Dragons, posting a .0.60 ERA in 8 starts before getting called back to the KBO. He will be back with the Dragons this year. 29-year-old lefty Wei Chung Wong started 17 games, ERA .278, though he only earned 3 wins along the way. And the pitcher everyone was talking about was 21-year-old right-hander Ro Shi-shu. 19 starts, ERA .311, struck out 98 batters in 81 innings. The Dragons are being really careful with this young phenom, setting a 120-inning limit and 75-pitch limit to start the season. Their closer was former Major League reliever Junichi Tazawa. He saved 30 games last year, but will not be back this year. Offensively, the Dragons were the worst team in the CPBL, lowest in runs scored, team batting, on-base percentage, slugging, and home runs. 21-year-old outfielder Tien-Shin Kuo batted .308, the league's 5th best average, and stole 22 bases, which tied for 3rd. This 28-year-old catcher led the team with 11 home runs. The hitting definitely needs some help, so they signed 2 foreign position players. 29-year-old infielder Ronnie Rodriguez hit 14 homers for the Detroit Tigers in 2019, and in 2021 played for the Nippon Ham Fighters of NPB. The other one is 31-year-old hitter Telvin Nash, the 2019 Atlantic League MVP. He spent the 2021 season in Japan's BC League. Chi Sheng-lin also joins the team this year. At the end of last season with the brothers, he tied the all-time CPBL home run record with number 289. The 40-year-old slugger probably won't make much of an impact as far as hitting, but could play a strong leadership role for the team's young hitters. If everyone stays healthy, their pitching looks like it can be great this year. Hitting will still be a problem, but the addition of the 2 new foreign hitters should help. If everything goes right, an appearance in the postseason really could happen for this team. The only prediction I'll make is that the brothers win the first half again. They won the most games last year and are bringing pretty much the same team back this year. Every other team has got some issues, but they've all got a reasonable shot. And of course, if things don't work out in the first half, they can always reload and start over with a clean slate for the second half. Anyway, that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.